Welcome, sins and commandments alike. This is Griever, your host as always, here to bring you guys a review of 7 Deadly Sins anime, episode 1 of season 2 or season 3. I don't know what people are calling it now because the season 2 we got was 4 episodes of filler and people have lovingly dubbed it 1.5. So I'm going to just refer to this as 7 Deadly Sins Revival of the Commandments, which is what the title of the season is called anyways. So that's the way we're going to go with this. But anyways, you guys know what I'm talking about. I really wanted this to come out in English dub, and I really was hoping it would, like, kind of right after the Japanese, but it seems to be taking its own sweet time with that. We have no idea when an English dub release of the episodes is going to come out, and I don't want to wait that long to start reviewing these episodes and do some comparisons to the manga. So I decided that this was a good idea as ever to start. We will catch up very quickly with these videos, and then we will be doing these as the episodes come out, because 7 Deadly Sins is what I review as a manga. I might as well review the anime episodes as they come out too. So thanks guys for watching, and I hope you enjoy. Now, right off the bat, guys, I have to say, I have new sea legs with this one because this is going to be very weird for me to try. I'm going to try my best to not spoil very much, but this is not a spoiler-free thing because I want to talk about certain things, about certain characters that we're introduced to now in the anime and the changes they may have made and changes from the manga series without revealing too much down the line, but just be wary of that. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do this yet. I want to do a comparison between I'm rereading the manga chapters that are relevant to the episode and just trying to stick strictly to that. Now, I did not review as far as the start of this new season. I was not reviewing 7 Deadly Sins at the time, manga, so I thought it'd be fun to just make some comparisons at the beginning of the video, or I was going to go through the episode and note when the changes were, because as I said, I did not review the chapter, so it's not really a repetition video for me, and certainly I didn't do anything like this back then when this chapter came out, when the chapters did come out, and now that the episode's out, I thought it'd be a good idea to just do it that way. So tell me guys below if you like this format, or you just want me to do a comparison, say what I like, say what I dislike, and then go from there. Anyway, guys, please give your constructive criticisms below, and please note there may be potential spoilers for things much further down the line in the manga that I might reference in these anime episodes. So please catch yourself up on the manga if you do not want to be spoiled for the episodes in this season. With that being said, let's get underway with it. The very beginning of this, of course, is total filler. Well, not filler, but changes. Filler, changes, whatever you want to say. What they've done here is they have simply retconned the ending of season 1 because that was not canon to the manga story, and it would actually kind of ruin quite a few scenes in this episode. Almost the entire episode would have to be different, and I was really wondering that because Elizabeth had left at the end of season 1 with the 7 Deadly Sins, and Bon and King had left quite differently in this telling. Now, I was wondering how much different this was going to be from the manga, and when I reread the chapters for the episode, I thought, okay, this is going to be far, far different. But instead, we open with Elizabeth changing, running down the place. She's having a dream, and she goes to try to find Meliodas. She can't find him, and we see both Dolar or Balor, I'm not really sure what the name is yet, one of the commandments, and clearly Derriere, once again another pronunciation issue, which will be corrected as we find out their true pronunciated names, and I will try to use those as best I can from here on, of the commandments, and of course the 10 Black Shadows and Zeldris at the end. All here, you know, in this dream sequence attacking Meliodas, and then she wakes up. And then it is revealed later on in the episode that she also dreamed that, dreamed the end of season 1 pretty much, where she, in the yellow dress, jumped out of the window and Bon and King had left. That had already, that was all dream. Now, the one change I don't like about this is because here's where it basically drops off back into the actual manga format. And the rest of this episode is almost an OVA, not so much an anime episode, because it follows almost panel by panel the chapters leading up. They kind of move things around a little bit, but it's still the same scene, same lines, same information is represented. Bartra and Elizabeth have a talk about a medal ceremony for the 7 deadly sins, and she mentions her dream, and Bartra kind of does this, could it be sort of thing, and I'm like, please do not give Elizabeth any more powers or anything. She's got her goddess eye and all that stuff. We do not need her to have Bartra's premonition powers and stuff, because that will alter the anime quite considerably if that's the case, and that could change quite a few things that I don't believe should be changed. So please, I'm hoping that was just a one-off thing, and we won't see any more of that referenced, because all it was is a retcon. That's all it is start the season off, do it right, follow the manga properly, and just retcon it for anime-only viewers. Now, after this, we jump in to see, the 7 deadly sins have all, they all have their new outfits on, except for Bon, Merlin, the Ensign changed, King didn't change. So basically, Gowther and Meliodas are the only one in basically new outfits. I don't know if they're referring to Bon's new jacket as that was his new outfit or whatever, because he's wearing it over his old outfit. But either way, we get a nice scene with all of them hanging out, laughing and stuff, all about the clothes. And we see, here's something that's quite different. When Gowther mentions his clothes, he says, "my beloved," and they think he's joking, like he can't tell the difference between his books that he reads and reality. But then we see a scene of Gila, of course, being for some reason in love with Gowther. Of course, spoilers, guys. We know what happens. And we can see Gila's little brother looking on very worried sort of thing. That was kind of left out. Most of these scenes, as I said, follow the manga with a couple of added lines and stuff, but mostly panel by panel, they're fine. We jump to the awards ceremony, I believe, and this is when we are introduced to Denzel, we're not actually introduced to Denzel, but we're introduced to the Knights of Denzel, the Knights of Azure Sky, who are Death Pierce and the two others, Doggood and Willarm. I forget his name, the short guy with the awesome mustache. They are the Knights of Denzel, Denzel's personal guard, who Denzel, of course, being Bartra's brother. We have not yet been introduced to him, but I can't wait to see him. Color scheme wise, everyone looks okay. I like the flamboyant colors going on here. I thought that Death Pierce would have platinum blonde hair. I always pictured him with platinum blonde hair when I read the manga, so that's a little different from what I thought would be the case. It's not a bad look, but I really wish they had kept it at that, because this is making me think more Druid. Now, I don't know if it was ever revealed that Death Pierce has some Druid blood in his family or something. Maybe that's the case. It seems unlikely to me because of how the current manga chapters have been going with him. But, changes there, but no spoilers for that right here, guys. However, I thought that that kind of colored hair, like Hendrickson, Elizabeth and stuff, that lighter silvery toned hair was supposed to represent some Druid blood in the family, Zaratros as well. And so I don't know if that was just a palette choice, but I really kind of wish it was platinum blonde, so that we don't get confused if that's ever brought up later on, as it was in the manga, that the Druids tend to have, not always, but tend to have the silverish, grayish hair. Anyways, so the award ceremony, of course, doesn't exactly go as planned, because Death Pierce and them show up, and everyone's kind of like, why are the 7 deadly sins being awarded? We hunted them for 10 years, all this stuff. And so it's kind of brought to conclusion, because they show off, Meliodas shows off his strength and stuff. And it is also revealed in a cut that Merlin gave Hawk a Balor's eye, the evil eye of Balor, which allows him to see power levels. Now, we have introduced a DBZ thing, which I'm sure will be dropped just like DBZ's was later down the line in the story. But we've been introduced to that to kind of gauge the difference in power levels between everybody. Though Gowther does remark to Hawk that circumstances, different conditions, and the feelings of the fighter and stuff, there are a lot of things where power levels, these are just numbers on a paper, and they have a considerable weight, but they are not the be-all and end-all. Someone with a higher power level can still lose to someone with a lower one, depending on the situation. So I'm glad they brought that up. Of course, Merlin lies to Hawk about his saying, It's, if you multiplied your power level by 100, it would be 3,000. And so Hawk has gone under this impression this whole time that he has a power level of 3,000 and he's much stronger than most other people in regards to everyone who's not a 7 deadly sin. So that's there for comedic effect, and that's fine. It gets old very quickly in the manga, however. I hope it's dropped. That's one change I hope the anime does change, is that they drop that line. So then, of course, Death Pierce and everyone kind of understand Meliodas' strength after he makes a fool out of Doggard there, and they kind of leave and say, all right, well, I've acknowledged your strength, and it seems it's true. Good day and stuff. After this, Elizabeth and Deanne have a small little talk about where Bon and King went and stuff, and they do mention the fact that Elizabeth says, so that did come true, like that was just in my dream, and that's when we find out that the whole ending of season 1 was a retcon. We do see, and I'm not sure where the cut here was, guys, but we do see Bon and King leave in the same way they left in the manga. Bon leaves early in the morning after talking with Meliodas that he was planning on leaving and stuff. He was being serious. He has to leave, and he's leaving the 7 deadly sins, and he won't be back, at least for a while. It's done a little more serious tone than at the end of season 1. And then he does leave early in the morning. King follows and says, I understand. Meliodas told me all about, my sister and stuff and what you did for her and everything. But, you got to let it go, sort of thing. And he asks him, Bon, where are you leaving to? Where are you going? And he says, the Fairy King's Forest. And King's like, what are you talking about? It's gone. And then this is a change from the manga. Jericho is hiding in the bushes. We see Jericho. It's clearly Jericho, but we don't get the scene where we see Jericho jumping out and joining the little posse of both King and Bon on their quest to go find the Fairy King's Forest, which Bon seems to know where it is. Now, after this scene, we get simply the Sins going through, where do they go? The Sins are walking through Leonis, and they're stopped by Griever, Gilthunder, and Hauser, who basically remark, thank you for defending, even though they were corrupted and evil and they tried to take over the kingdom and revive the demon clan, at least you did. And this is once again taken right out of the manga, but when Death Pierce and the others, not so much Death Pierce, but Doggett, made fun of and said, Dreyfus and Henderson, those traitors scum who were losers and stuff. Meliodas did defend their honor and stuff and said, when I knew them, they were great holy knights and you couldn't hold a candle to them, sort of thing. And they said, thank you for defending us. And he just said, I said the truth and stuff. And this is where Merlin puts them on the quest to, what corrupted them? Why did their behavior was like from white to black, every color of the rainbow. They went through the range of emotions and different behaviors. So Merlin said, why don't you start thinking for yourself? Maybe there's not a clear-cut answer, but maybe you should dig a little deeper and stuff. And this is where Gilthunder, they reminisce and remember, some times from their childhood, and they basically say, let's go back to Great Knight Dreyfus's room one more time and look for some answers. Then it's seen that they're walking through they continue to walk through Leonis, and here's where this scene is kind of changed. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but was this brought up in the filler, in the filler season, the 4 episodes, or near the end of season 1? I don't believe the scene was shown with the dream sequence between Hendrickson and Dreyfus, where Dreyfus feeds Hendrickson his blood in this dream sequence and stuff, and we see Hendrickson's body in demon form, like completely like blown apart and stuff, and he's laying there and he has this dream where they're back in human form and they have a conversation and all that stuff. Instead of that, we just get a scene here, just a flash of Hendrickson dragging the blood off of a cloth that's clearly Elizabeth's blood onto the key sword that I was about to say Keyblade, Kingdom Hearts, anybody, that Meliodas had, of course, and is starting to revive the demon clan with his power. Everyone stops and remarks, like, what's this tremor? And then we see, of course, Meliodas is, petrified sort of thing, and he's like, of course, the 10 shadowy figures, because he remembered, this was earlier in the episode, and see, guys, I'm jumping around. I just saw it, and I didn't have a chance to kind of pull it up on screen and go through each scene. In chronological order, but we do get the scene where Bartram remarks about the 10 the 10 shadowy figures he saw that were going to take over everything and stuff. He remarks us to the sins. And now Meliodas brings up, I knew it, of course, it's them. And then we see, this is where we continue the scene that I think was either cut or moved to the previous season. I'm not sure. I watched the filler when it first came out on Netflix, but I did not actually rewatch the 4 filler episodes because I didn't think they were relevant. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. If the scene was not chopped and there was the dream sequence, we saw Demon Hendrickson all blown to bits. We saw the dream sequence with Dreyfus. We saw him wake back up and find the cloth. I don't think that was actually ever animated. If it was, correct me below in the comment section. But anyways, we continue the scene, and then once again, we're back to manga format. It's done exactly the same. Dreyfus is standing over Hendrickson, who has been revived, completely human, and we see the tattoo on his eye, meaning that he's under the control of one of the demon clan. And of course, spoilers, it's Fraudrin, one of the commandments. And he basically says, good job, this body, the person's soul who I'm taking over wanted to revive you. I've done that, so now you can piss off, you can leave, you can do whatever. The ritual's complete, and then we get this nice wide shot of the 10 Commandments in full color. And it's actually good. I'm happy with everything except for Garen Galland, whatever his name will be officially translated as, because what's with the red? I swear I saw a color panel of the manga cover page or something like that, colored, where he was supposed to be an orangish bronzy color. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I thought that was the case, and I always pictured him to be that brownish, orangish bronze, that rusted color in full armor, and now he's got this, he's not only just one color, it's this very vibrant, not bright, but very vibrant red. It doesn't look terrible, but it's quite a contrast, it's quite a shock, and he's got different colored shoulder pads and stuff from what I can see and stuff, and with silver and things, and it's looking quite a drastic change from what I originally thought the color would be. Everyone else's colors is fine. Estarossa, Dolar, or maybe Baller at this point, Derriere, Monspeed. Everyone else's looks quite good. I don't think I'm doing much spoilers by spoiling their names, guys. If you guys don't know who those people are, you'll find out by watching the next couple episodes. It's not a spoiler to know their names. So, anyways, that's basically where the episode ends. Of course, we get the leader of the 10 Commandments, Zeldris, come up and say, "So that traitorous bastard is still alive, huh? Meliodas." And that's where it ends, and that's basically that's halfway through chapter 109, I believe, because then we have a whole scene with the commandments where they actually all converse and stuff after this. So I'm looking forward to see how they're going to continue this train, because we have to. This conversation is, I think, quite important. So I wonder if they'll open with that, or we're going to be jumping around again, and we'll get the reaction shot from. Actually, it's more likely that we'll continue to see the Fairy King forest quest between Jericho, King, and Bon. That seems a little more likely to me that they'll start off with that, because that was already... See, this is the problem. They've jumped between about 10 chapters, and Bon and King's quest has already advanced past this point that we see in episode 1. They're kind of going a little too far, so I believe that now in episode 2 we'll jump and catch up to where we were at the end of chapter 109. We'll catch up with King and Bon at the beginning of the episode, and then we'll probably jump over to the commandments having their conversation and back to Meliodas and crew. I don't know for certain. I haven't actually even loaded episode 2 yet, but I'm looking forward to it, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about how I'm doing these. Do you want these to be shorter? Should they not be full reviews like I've been kind of trying to do here? Should I just do comparisons between the manga, what I like, any changes, color palettes, things like that, any changes from the manga core material, any changes I'd like to see, anything that was really well animated? I am glad. I want to point out one thing. The music is still good. I did not get a episode with an opening song. I'm not sure if the first episode actually had the opening theme, so I'm looking forward to listen to the new opening theme if it is a new one for the new season. But thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Griever with your episode review of 7 Deadly Sins, Season 2, 3, who cares? It's Revival of the Commandments. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you back here next time for Episode 2. Look forward to it, and with that being said, see you later.